think you're right to hear how's everyone doing today. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about 8 of the worst injuries caught on camera. And yeah, everyone has had injuries, okay? Everyone, broken arm, had a cramp, probably had a muscle torn, something like that, you know. I have had injuries in my playing time. You know, I played baseball, I played football, you know, probably thrown a ball, probably torn a muscle, probably injured, twisted my knee, stuff like that happens before. And it's shit. It really is shit. But this is the worst. These are people who are suffering more than me. So if you don't want to look because you have a weak stomach, please look away or just get out of the video. But that being said, let's get our tummies twisted and see.
NHL from 1981 to 1992. He survived a life-threatening injury in 1989 when another player's skate blade sliced his carotid artery and jugular vein, causing immediate massive blood loss. As an opposing team member skated down the rink toward the goal, he was blocked, sending his skate blade flying toward Malarchuk's unprotected neck. As blood started to spurt out onto the ice, all Blake could do was try to keep pressure on the wound. Even the commentators were utterly disgusted at the sight of it, imploring that the cameras turn away from the injured player. Malarchuk lost 1.5 liters of blood, and it took doctors a total of 300 stitches to close the 6-inch wound.
Yo, that's fucked. Yo, that's so... I will be dead. Oh my god. But that... How can you survive an injury like that, bro? Your neck. One of the most vulnerable places in your whole body. Sliced open, bro. That shit's fucked.
77, when Lakers power forward Kermit Washington punched Houston Rockets forward Rudy Tomjanovich. The game of basketball was never the same. Back in those days, being physical was just a part of the game. Roughing up an opposing player was often overlooked by refs. During the game, there was a scuffle between two players on opposing teams. Tomjanovich ran up right behind Washington, who turned around to deliver a nearly fatal right-hand punch to Tomjanovich's face. The hit knocked him to the floor, leaving him in a pool of blood. Rudy suffered a dislocated skull, with spinal fluid leaking into his mouth. Famous Laker Kareem Abdul-Jabbar said the hit sounded like a melon being dropped onto concrete. This event has been described as the punch that changed professional basketball, because since then, the NBA has established much stricter regulations in the fouling system.
Yeah, bro, how? But then that guy just punched him in the face. He fell onto the floor, head first into the court. That's just fucked. Oh, that's so. And then he described it as a melon hitting the concrete floor. But that's a very gruesome way to describe that shit, bro. Like, for me, when I watch boxing and then someone gets knocked out, bro, I always like get worried when someone gets knocked out and their head falls, like the back of the head falls into the floor. That freaks me out, bro. Like, even when I go on Twitter, and then recently they've been showing like fights, random fighting. The guy gets knocked out and he head into the concrete. That's just it worries me. It's just disgusting. 'Cause that guy could be dead. That guy could be literally dead. His last view on the world was him getting punched and not falling down to the floor. That's literally his last fucking view in the world, I guess.
In 2013, University of Louisville basketball player Kevin Ware landed awkwardly after attempting to block a three-point shot. As he came down, his leg bent the wrong way and totally snapped. He suffered a compound fracture to his right leg, which left the bone protruding several inches out of his shin. Players on the bench all shuddered at the sight of the injury, while some others were unable to watch. While lying on the floor of the court, Ware repeatedly said, "I'm fine, just win the game." He was then carried off on a stretcher and taken to a nearby hospital. Miraculously, his team went on to win not only the quarterfinals but also the NCAA championship, where Kevin was allowed the honor of cutting the net from the hoop.
After breaking his leg. Damn, bro, that's just nasty. Okay, it's so nasty. I don't know, bro. It's weird, and that is so odd that your leg, instead of going like, it just bent like a fucking bendy straw. It looks like a bendy straw. It happens in football. It happens in basketball. It happens in a lot of sports, and it bends like a bendy straw. It looks so disgusting and weird. But at least it had a happy ending, you know. Their team won the championship. That's great.
Because of Anquan Boldin's determination and tenacity, he has been described as one of the toughest football players of all time. During the final seconds of a 2008 game against the New York Jets, Anquan went up to catch a pass from Cardinals quarterback Kurt Warner. As the ball firmly entered his grasp, he was hit from the back, propelling his head forward into an opponent's helmet. The impact knocked him out cold and left him with severe injuries to the face and chin. He had surgery for a fractured sinus membrane, which required 7 plates and 40 screws to fix. After missing only 2 games, Anquan returned to the field and shocked the stadium by catching 2 touchdown passes. Getting hit in the face with a baseball after missing only 2 games, Anquan face and chin. He had surgery for a fractured sinus membrane, which required 7 plates and 40 screws to fix. After missing only 2 games, Anquan returned to the field and shocked the stadium by catching 2 touchdown passes.
What a guy, bro. 2 weeks. This guy had a broken membrane. They had to fix it with plates and screws and not. In 2 weeks, he was fine. He came back and did 2 touchdowns. I could never play football. That shit's fucked and so aggressive. I could never. No, I would never do that. And 2, he had a broken membrane, came back 2 weeks later to get 2 touchdowns. Nah, bro, I could never, bro. This guy's a G. This guy's a straight up G.
Getting hit can be fatal. Former Red Sox pitcher Bryce Flory can attest to this firsthand. In September of 2000, Flory sustained multiple injuries after getting hit with a line drive straight to his face. He wasn't able to get his mitt up in time. As the baseball smashed into his cheekbone, he instantly fell to the ground writhing in pain, blood gushing from his cheek and right eye. When he sat up, he looked stunned as he spit blood from his mouth that was rushing in from his sinuses. Flory suffered a fractured cheekbone, fractured orbital socket, and a damaged retina. After facial reconstruction surgery, it only took a couple of months for him to regain full eyesight. Unfortunately, he was unable to perform at his previous ability and was cut from the team the following year. It was the hit that ended his professional career.
Sometimes in baseball, I get worried for stuff like that. Like, how the fuck can you react that fast for a ball that's going like 100-something miles an hour? That shit's so worrying. You can't react. You can't react that fast. 100 miles an hour going catch a ball like that. No, that's weird. It's weird, and then you can't cry neither. I can't cry.
Doubt about it. Soccer is one of the most dangerous sporting events on the planet. When players are running at each other at full speed, the odds of injury are at an all-time high. One of the wildest injuries happened in 1981, when Avod Lenin suffered a huge laceration from an opposing team member. As the 2 men collided, Lenin's thigh was slit open, resulting in a deep wound of about 10 inches. The cut was so deep that fans could see the bone exposed through the muscle tissue. Although a gash like this should cause a player to shudder in extreme agony, Lenin was overcome with anger about the incident. Struggling to stand, he got up to vent his frustrations at the other team's coach. He rushed over and started screaming at the team manager, blaming him for instigating the foul by encouraging his players to be overly aggressive. After 23 stitches and 2 weeks of recovery, Lenin was back in action on the field.
See, I think the football one was way more worse than that one. I mean, that one was more gruesome. Yeah, you can see a bone. But the other guy had a broken fucking thing in his head, you know. Like, that's just weird. That is more gruesome. I agree. That was more gruesome. You can see a bone. You can see skin. You can see the human anatomy through that fucking leg. That's weird. That's disgusting. But at least he came back 2 weeks. And you said that soccer is one of the dangerous sports. Yeah, it is. One of the dangerous sports. I don't really know about other sports, but from my point of view, I think soccer is one of the dangerous sports. Not only because like You know, like shit like that can happen. But because you can injure yourself, you can get injured by somebody. You know, you can run, but your body gives out. You can, you know, get what's it called? A thigh injury, hamstring injury, shit like that happens too. You know, shit happens like that in sports. But from my point of view, I think soccer is one of the most dangerous sports ever.
The Ultimate Fighting Championship has been
and I automatically scratch all of that,
ribs, and noses have been broken more times than one can count. Just ask middleweight champion Anderson Silva. In the 2013 championship bout against Chris Weidman, Silva goes up for a kick so hard that he breaks his own fibula and tibia. Silva's foot wrapped around the back of Weidman's leg like a string of Play-Doh. His face radiated with pain as he clutched his leg. This ended the fight via TKO. Immediately after the fight, Silva had orthopedic surgery that inserted a metal rod inside his bone. A statement from the UFC described the surgery as successful. Despite public outcry for him to retire, he returned to the sport. Since then, he has tested positive for banned substances and is currently suspended from fighting in the organization. Downhill skiing is one of the most dangerous sports in the world, and sometimes fatal. Professional skiers put their lives on the line every time they make their way down the slopes. Austrian retired alpine skier Matthias Lanzinger knows this from experience. In a 2008 World Cup Super G run, he loses his footing coming over a hill and crashes into one of the gates. After hitting the ground at a high rate of speed, he becomes unconscious. His lifeless body tumbled down the slope, twisting and spiraling until he slides into a boundary fence. The accident all but destroyed his leg as he was airlifted to a hospital. Due to inadequate circulation below the knee, his leg was subsequently amputated.
Damn, bro. I think out of all of them, he had the way biggest, difference in life. His leg got lost. His leg was amputated, bro. That shit's weird, That's the end of the video. Sports are dangerous. Parents, why the fuck do you implement this on us, okay? This is fucked up, bro. We should be in a bubble in our room playing video games. Nothing wrong with video games, right? Right? I'm joking. Sports, yes, is dangerous. But it's fun. It's competitive. That's the reason why sports are made, Sports are there to give us character, to make us better, to fight for something, a championship, a medal, the medal, whatever. That's why sports are made. And you can die, you can lose a leg, you can rip off your whole skin to show your bone, but it's fun, okay? It's fun. Just pray to God pray to God that shit never happens to you, and play. That's it's weird, it's disgusting that you have to see shit. It's disgusting that we have to see shit like that happen, but it happens. Sports are sports, and what can you do? Yeah, so like and subscribe if you didn't just skip away for the video if you don't want to see this. I completely understand. You don't want to see shit like that. That's just disgusting, but it happens. And if you like the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next Thursday. Peace.